Jima, 0700 hours. We heard the diesels fire up. Metal groaned as the bow of our ship split down the middle and the two 20-ton doors swung open to the Black Sea. Behind the doors, Amtraks were lined up inside the belly of the ship like green steel beetles. On deck, the sound of the ship waking up got our minds focused on the assault ahead of us. We were going to be in the first waves of men to hit the beach. It all made sense if you were a war planner who calculated schedules, machines, casualties, and such, but we were the ones they made their plans on, so no matter how much sense it made on paper, you're never quite ready to be in that first group, even Marines like the boys in my platoon. They were mostly teenagers. A few were in their early 20s and inexperienced, except for a few vets like me who rode herd. They were gung-ho and itching to get into the fight, but even so, I could read their faces. Being the first to face enemy fire was making them think things over. My younger brother George, a vet of Saipan and Tinian, saw these kids back in Hawaii and asked me, "Where the hell are the vets? You're going to get yourself killed. You ought to come over to the 4th with me." "Nothing doing," I told him. "I'm staying put." "Stubborn fuck, always were." George spit on the deck. Seemed like he didn't give a shit about anything anymore. I guessed it was from Saipan, where they say things got pretty rough. Over 3,000 men, including most of his friends, got killed. We were the 5th Division. Like George said, we had a lot of the younger legs in our outfit. Those young legs would get us across the beach faster to the airfield, our first objective, but we both knew that these youngsters would take the brunt of the dying. When you know how war works, like a wolf pack on the hunt, it made sense. But it still wasn't right. These boys were the bravest we had. They didn't wait to get drafted. They joined the Marines, and that should count for something. But of course, in the logic of war, it didn't. The boys finished their prayers, and the chaplain blessed us. The Swabbies powered up more diesels and set to work getting the landing craft medium, LCMs, and landing craft personnel, LCPs, that would bring in the supplies after we hit the beach, hoisted up on the davits and swung over the side. All the activity set the boys murmuring to each other, "Here we go," and "This is it." For a second, some of them looked down, bit their lips, like kids anywhere who were about to be punished. Inside, I know some were panicking, feeling their nerve fail, even after all the training and preparation. Their instinct for survival was taking over. They wanted to beg for their lives or hide in some cubbyhole or ammo crate of our huge transport ship, but they didn't do it. They sucked it up and believed they were ready. They weren't. What can I tell you about these young guys standing out on the cold deck with me? I love them as much as my own brothers. Some were skin-headed young boots when they came into my platoon. Some were fresh out of paratrooper school and were pissed off to be humping metal through the mud instead of floating down from the air under green silk. But all that was over now. The last 6 months of training together every day made them as tough and tight-knit a fighting platoon as I ever knew. They were the kind of heroes I wanted to be, not the Medal of Honor showboat that Topside wanted me to be. Then a strange thing happened. As I watched them, I felt something release, all of a sudden. I can't really explain it, but it felt like a knot in my chest that was there all my life suddenly came loose. I was free somehow, and quiet inside. The voice that had been inside my head since I can remember, the one that whispers all the time and gets loud when you do something wrong, was suddenly gone. When that voice in your head suddenly stops, you notice. At least I did, because I had learned to listen to it. It sounds strange, and I don't go in for any sort of mumbo-jumbo as a rule, but the voice told me the future, and did it more than once. 3 different times I heard it, clear as a bell, and it was right all 3 times. So I guess I learned to listen a little closer than most people. The voice was definitely gone. Maybe I just didn't need it anymore. It was half light, just as the sun was crowning over the horizon behind storm clouds. It was February 19th, 1945, Monday, the beginning of the work week. We were scheduled to hit the beach at 0900. Christ almighty, Monday at 9 a.m., just like